Hello, everyone. This is going to be my prediction video for the 2023 playoffs. The grid is now officially set. If you want to see what I predicted at the beginning of the season, you can go watch that video and laugh at me because it was not good. That round of 8 prediction was hilarious, but I don't want to dwell on too much. So obviously we've had some surprises this year, particularly Stenhouse and McDowell. Um, I've just been thinking. I think the best way to do this is to start with the round of 16, who I think is in trouble and who isn't. I don't think I can't in good conscience have McDowell getting out of this round. I just don't see how. Just looking at everyone, if he makes it out, I feel like it's more of what these others do to screw up than his performance, right? But the odd thing is with McDowell, he's out in the round of 16 or he's out in the round of 8. Just because of how the tracks line up, that's how I think it could play out. But realistically, I have him in the round of 16 out. Now, Stenhouse is an interesting one. Your gut should tell you they're round of 16, but I was looking at the tracks and just how he's ran there in the past, and honestly, I have him in the round of 12. Because usually what happens is that there's one guy that you really don't think should be knocked out in the round of 12, 16, but will. Last year was Kyle Busch. We've seen Jimmy Johnson go out in the first round. There's usually one big hitter that gets knocked out early due to contract trouble. So I think Stenhouse will be the beneficiary of that. Now to what I think might be the surprising start of the surprises is I have Blaney going out in the round of 16. And Logano. Honestly you got to sell on Penske at this point. I think I'm not. I don't have faith in Penske. Right now I don't know. It's just they've been off. I mean, that's the best way to say it, right? Like, and it's very pedestrian, and especially Logano this year. It's been very. He got that win, but it just seems very pedestrian, very inconsistent. I don't have a lot of faith. But that's just what I feel. It's just predictions that Penske's gonna have a rough run. I don't know. They just don't feel very fast. And then I look at all these drivers, and it's like it's already pretty tough. I think most people will have Stenhouse and McDowell out in the round of 16. Those are the easy ones, and I think it's already really hard to say who else. But who I'm going to put here, it's probably another surprise, but like it's a pretty stout field. I'm gonna put Ross Chastain. They've been terrible. Generally speaking, besides Nashville, the summer they've been terrible. Um, so, and I don't know what's up with Trackhouse in general. They just been off in the summer. Besides Nashville, and I don't see why it would change at this point. So that's why I got in around 16. I'm not big on Penske right now. McDowell, I just don't think he's gonna be able to hang in there. And then Ross Chastain's been terrible. And I think Stenhouse, honestly, who's usually capable of running top 20 every week, if you get top 15s, you'll make it. And I think that's what the team's capable of. So, round of 12 is Texas, Talladega, and the Roval. Unfortunately, I think this is where Bubba gets knocked out. Yeah, he's good on plate tracks, but it's hard for me to, with how the plate package is. I think it's hard to be like, oh, because you're a good plate racer, you're gonna do well. I don't think that's how the package is right now. So I think, could he get a good run at Talladega? Yep. But my big concern is the Roval. Um, road courses aren't his forte. He did have a good run at Watkins Glen, but you're fighting the 17th, 18th place driver in the standings. You're trying to fight the top 8, top 12, top 8 to get into the next round. I just don't see a world where that happens. He would have to have one heck of a buffer, in my opinion. Next that I have going on in this round is Harvick. Kind of like the same thing with Bubba. He's been terrible on road courses. I just don't see it. And that's just how it is. Like for me personally, plate racing. I mean, he was in a chance to win Daytona this past weekend, but I think how the plate racing is, it's a lot more about strategy of how the fuel you take and how and stuff like that. You're not able to work your way through the pack. So big track position game, and that's that. Really. So next, the last, it's gonna be a big surprise of this round, but to some people, but I don't think it's that far fetched. Is that I have Larson going out, and my problem with Larson is not his speed; it's the team making mistakes, and Larson makes mistakes too, and their team have been making a lot of mistakes this year, and those mistakes can come and bite you really hard. I had him in the final 4. He's got the final 4 speed. I don't think there's anyone's going to question that, but you can't question the amount of mistakes that team makes, and it's going to be a round where you cannot make mistakes. You cannot make mistakes at Talladega and lose track position. You don't go through the field in 5 laps. And the same thing with the Roval. If you mess up anything at the Roval, you're done. You ain't getting back. Besides some weird miracle that happens, but that Roval race is going to be a parade where no one passes anyone. And we saw that at Watkins Glen, you couldn't pass anyone, and the Roval is gonna be a lot worse for passing, in my opinion. So, yeah. So this is the round of 8. The drivers that I have the RFK drivers going out in this round. Obviously the resurgence this season has been absolutely fantastic for them. Brad is more playoff points, and I mean both of them have this issue where I don't know if they're necessarily the biggest hitters ever. Yes, Buescher's won 3 out of the last 5, right? But there's also that thing, Harvick won 2 out of like the last 4 races before the playoffs, right? Or something like crazy like that. And I was like, oh, maybe he's that championship contender. It goes on the round of 16. I don't think they're ready for prime time yet. If you can catch what I mean. So, yeah. So I think the easy thing for me to do at this point is I'm gonna put Truex as my first person in the final 4 and Byron. Those I think are the 2 easiest ones. I'm even gonna throw Hamlin in there. I think these are the 3 best drivers, 3 best teams. I don't think there's really gonna be anyone arguing that. They've got the playoff points. But between these 3 drivers, it's hard for me to justify Tyler Reddick into the final 4. I don't think that team's had that top end speed every week that they need, and well, the pit crew is terrible too. So mostly because of the pit crew, I don't see them getting through. So basically, for me, the final 4 is between Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell. And And I just don't see. This is tough because Christopher Bell is more of the level. Like he's very relative in relative terms for the season. He's pretty consistent. But he never has that race winning speed. But that might be enough to get you in. But yet again, he was kind of quiet last year until the end of the season. So it's very hard to say. And like the Roval win last year was pretty lucky. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. But Kyle Busch has the problem of his highs are very high, but oh boy, the lows. But there's been those signs of consistency from that team. So it's really hard to decide between these two. I've been thinking back and forth and stuff, and it's just very hard for me to be like, for sure, one of these are the ones, right? Um, but in the end, I have Bell in the final four. He's been like a rock, right? Of this solid reliableness, and Kyle Busch is just too roller coaster for me personally. It's a lot like Tyler Reddick last year. They were really fast, or they just weren't there. I think the thing with Kyle this year though is that it's not really that they've been off; things happen. So this is what I have. So now you're gonna ask me for the championship prediction, and I just have that feeling at this point. I have the feeling it's Truex. Um, I think they're the best team. They've been the fastest so far this year. Byron's got the more wins, but most of his wins, besides Watkins Glen was very dominant, but most of his wins don't feel like, oh yeah, this is the powerhouse. So then Hamlin, I want Hamlin to win a championship, but like it's just like it feels like destiny that he's never gonna do it. And then Bell, I don't think he really hasn't had that punching power all year. I feel like so. This is honestly what I feel like. I feel like the Toyotas are the best right now. But a lot can happen. I'm sure this is gonna look really bad in 3 weeks. But yeah, I mean that's why we do predictions. They're for fun and just theories, right? So this is what I think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.